Hi, everybody. My name is Melanie Rogers, and I'm inviting you all to tune in to my show, Flip the Switch, How to Find the Light in Every Dark Shadow, every Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ClearSourceRadio.com and iHeartRadio. Hey everyone, you are now listening to Flip the Switch, How to Find the Light in Every Dark Shadow on the Clear Source Radio Network. And as always, thank you so much for listening. Hey everybody, welcome back and thank you so much for tuning in. You are now listening to Flip the Switch, How to Find the Light in Every Dark Shadow on Clear Source Radio, where people inspire people. I'm your host, Melanie Rogers, and once again, Happy New Year! Happy New Year, everybody. You know what that means. Happy New Year. It is a new year. It is already the first month gone. Oh no, we're 1/12 through the year already. It seems like yesterday. My birthday literally seems like yesterday, and it was about going on 4 weeks ago, and that blows me away. So that tells me, in my world, that I need to slow down again and really... I actually know, you know what? In this case, it's not that I need to slow down. It's because I've actually taken this year so far nice and slowly, because I felt directed to do so. Okay? But what I'm realizing is that I'm still in my mind not where I am in any given moment. And that's something that I'm going to continue working on. It's paying attention in every given moment, stopping and saying, okay, I am here and I'm present in this moment. That's not as easy to some of us as it is to others, but it is something to work on, and there's many different ways to work on that. So anyway, Happy New Year. I hope that all of the inspiration and motivation and excitement and family love and friendships and happy joy that we all felt at the beginning of the year, like we usually do every year. I hope that you still feel it. I hope you're holding on to it. So, Happy New Year to everybody. I'm going to go through this really quickly. I'm only going to give little snippets of this because this is not my work. Elizabeth Prue, you know, I've talked about her till I'm blue in the face. I believe in her. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a heads up here. I have her newsletter pulled up. Now, this is a newsletter you need to sign up for and pay for. So I don't want to just, give away her work. I'm going to give you this much, that this week I believe it was from Friday. Her newsletter starts on Fridays. From Friday to Thursday, from Friday to Thursday, it is, I just had it pulled up, the week at a glance, basically. There's a concept. I'm trying to find it. I apologize for that. Okay, well, I can't find that. So I'm going to go directly to today. I'm going to go to today, Monday, or Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, isn't it? Okay, Tuesday the 29th. There it is. I had the wrong one pulled up. Okay, life purpose flows. So that's what we should be concentrating on today. If not, reflect back. Life purpose flows. I'm only going to give you a couple of snippets so that what she has highlighted here. And it says, as a consequence, today you could feel that you literally have more energy. And that's a finer vibration, giving you a sense of optimism and exuberance. Do you feel that? I hope that you feel that, because if you do, that tells you and me that the universal thing is happening and you can believe in it. She says she has us highlighted that we should journal today, draw and muse, write down insights that soul is bringing forth. And I'm going to do that now that I'm reading this again. That the personality, which is our head, is making a list of priorities, and our soul, which is our heart, is the leader of our life. And that's true. The moon is prodding us not to be afraid of going deep down, and diving into the lavish array of spiritual tools that soul has given us to our everyday human life. Now, those are just snippets of what she has written. I'm going to go back and give you what she has as the theme of the day for today, Tuesday. A beautiful energy flow envelopes the day. Do you feel that? The challenges are soul is in charge. Take your advice. Okay, we know our soul is our heart. Okay, it fights our ego or our personality, which is our head. Okay, in most cases, it's a fight. I think we all struggle throughout. So many of us, at least, struggle throughout our whole lives to bring those together. Okay, but soul is in charge. Take your advice. So what's in your heart? What do you feel today is in your heart? You know, what are you feeling guided to do in general? Follow that. Okay, I've learned to try to follow that. And the opportunities, our life purpose is elevating and shines. So today I see where she's saying to journal and such. If you're truly trying to seek your life purpose, even if you're not trying to seek it, a lot of times when it comes to you, it might reinvigorate to move in a different direction in life, or to continue on the path that you've chosen, or just feel a little more validated for even being on this earth, or being in the lives of the people you're in, or projects that you're part of and such. Okay, so I think it's all good whether you're a spiritual person or not. Now, let me see. I'm trying to get on to my page here where I had something saved. Okay. Now, this was interesting. You know that I've been talking about it as well as everybody else, spiritually and such. And a lot of people have been going through this 2018. This is why 2018 was such a year for us to, move away from. But it was a very valuable year, a very important year for a lot of us to uproot things and to be able to let things go. Okay, it was that token year that was chosen to knock us down a little bit so that we can finally release. Okay. Now, what's interesting is when I talk about what I'm going through, and then I start noticing it with other people, and then it starts making sense to me. I start actually connecting dots within myself, lessons and rewards and all of that. And then I go to sources and I see like Elizabeth Peru, and she explains it and it validates everything I've gone through. Okay. That's kind of the way I do it, by the way. That's kind of what resonates with me, and it validates everything. So what that has led me to do is just allow what's meant to be, and truly believe that the universe has plans for me. And part of those plans are when it's time to let go of something so that you can move forward onto the next step, or open up a part of yourself to accept what you're supposed to receive. You have to let go of things that are hindering. Okay. And I think that that's what 2018 was about. But then to go back and even see quotes or little memes that people put together is still validation, because it shows me that a lot of people were concentrating on the same thing as I was. Therefore, they were going through the same thing. Now, when a collective, huge number of people seem to be going through the same types of struggles and such, that's the universal thing. That's a universal pull. Okay, we're all experiencing a lot of the same kind of things. I'm going to try to cut him off. The dogs across the street are barking, so of course he's going to chime in. Hopefully it won't distract us too much. So with that being said, I start reading different things that people put out that, like I said, kind of validates everything that I've said. And what I love about it is that I have a radio show that has those words recorded. I can always look back and say, there it is right there. I was talking about that, and then it was validated. So everything that I was telling you about 2018 and how I felt that it was the year that it was for a reason. This was written, and I saved it. It was on Facebook, and I saved it. And it reads, "The old Earth reality is officially ending in December. This is why 2018 has been deeply intense and hard for so many people. All old traumas, fears, and wounds had to be healed. We can't go higher with our heavy baggage. You will look back at this year and see it as a blessing." Oh my Lord, I get chills when I read that, because that's exactly what I experienced. That's exactly how I looked at it. And that's exactly how I reflected back on the year. Before I read anything about it. This is stuff I was feeling. So that's validation. And that's validation that I'm truly in the universal flow. People who are spiritual, people who are on that same kind of realm as I am right now, they'll understand that. They'll understand how when you finally feel like you are in the universal flow kind of thing, you're allowing yourself to flow with the universe, basically, the plans of the universe for you. How great that feels, because you can kind of let go the reins, okay, trying to control everything. And then with that being said, I've been able to let go of making those decisions on what I need to concentrate on, okay, or what in the moment is I need to do to make myself happy. Now, that was another big thing about last year. And a lot of that was how I suddenly, for about a year and a half after my dogs had passed, started realizing that I did crave a relationship. That connection, the connection part of a relationship is what I craved. Okay. So suddenly my heart was open to that, and that was hard, and that hurt really bad. So with that being said, I concentrated so much on keeping my heart open, even though it so wanted to close so many times, because I felt like I was just, in a lot of turmoil. Well, that was other stuff that was being forced to come up in the same time that needed to come up for me to be able to keep that heart open. But also I'm realizing now that all that stuff was coming up to let go of the muck that was in me, that was creating a toxicity in me, being a part of me. Okay, look at it this way. And then we're going to talk about the show, which is having a fairy tale love affair with yourself, and how I realized how important that is. We can put that out 1,000 times, but in all actuality, until you really experience it, it's always going to be a great concept. It's always going to be great, something great to talk about, but it's never going to be a reality. Okay. So with that being said, here's how I picture last year, and here's how it totally validates everything that happened last year. I picture myself being, or all people really, but I'm going to picture myself being a cartoon character, just a sketch drawing. Okay. You can see through me, so you can see everything inside. And I told you about this other depiction I had seen on Facebook before with empaths, and it really explained an empath and how, it was a cartoon character, and they would go up to somebody who needed to be healed, and all of their damage got absorbed into the empath. So they were able to walk away shiny and bright, and suddenly they had pep in their step, and they weighed like the weight of the world was off. Well, then it also showed that darkness went down into the empath. And it showed one person after another until the empath was walking around with so much negative energy from other people that they couldn't get rid of, that they were so worn down. And that the empath then went home, pet the dog. The dog gave, loved on the empath and absorbed that, and then it all released into the universe. Okay. Now, while my animals are a huge part of that, and that's what makes it super interesting, is that when all of this started coming up in the first place a year and a half ago, it all started with me losing my 2 dogs that affected me so deeply. Well, that triggered so much, which is why the show ended up going the way it did. It triggered so much, and I'm realizing that what it did was it kind of uncorked something deep inside where all that dark stuff was hidden. A lot of that dark stuff was situations I had been in. A lot of it was things I experienced. A lot of it was thoughts or feelings I suppressed or pushed away thinking I got rid of. A lot of it was just, it was just every kind of muck you can possibly imagine that I didn't really realize was there. Okay, so we can put on a smiley face. We can be the most positive person in the world without realizing that we're being that way for others. Okay? And I think that that's what it was, is that deep inside, I'm a positive person and I'm a healer, and I was that way for others, but I was still also holding on to my own stuff. Now, last year was the universe's way of saying, we're going to unplug that. We're taking away those who continue to pull that crap out of you, my dogs, after I'd come home, whatever, and in some ways suppress me from feeling that, just by their love, kind of the Band-Aid thing, and I described that as the Band-Aid being pulled off. Suddenly they were gone, and I noticed everything I was missing. I noticed how they were basically my security blanket, okay? So much in my head and so much I visualize, and please, please, please try to visualize this with yourself. That's why I'm telling you. I'm not telling you so that you can keep up with everything that I do, because you don't even know me. Why would you care about everything in my life? But it's so significant, and I truly, truly believe that so many people out there experience things in the same way, that when you hear somebody else describe it in such detail, it could really help. And I try to do that, and that's why I tell you all these things. Okay, so visualizing that, Melanie walking around now with her dogs gone, all these issues, some unknown, some known, whatever, always pushed down, being overshadowed by all the positive, the positive person I am, the desire to accomplish, the desire to be all that I can be, but also plugging up that romantic part because that made life easier. Well, then they left and the Band-Aid came off and everything opened up and it was a big wound. Okay. So over time, all that dark underneath, that's when the universe, and this is what I'm talking about, the universe saying, you can put on a smiley face and you can do things as much as you can for other people to smile or to be that positive person or to be that accomplished person. But you have to clean yourself up from the inside. You have to heal yourself. You have to nurture yourself. Because when we hold all that kind of stuff inside and we're still trying to be a really good person, we're doing that because we think that's what we need to do, to be a good person. We don't want to bring up all this muck to other people. We don't want that ugliness to come up and be shown, because then that makes us an ugly person. It's a part of us, right? It is. But it doesn't have to be a part of our personality. But it is a part of us as long as it's stuck in there. So visualize that person again that you can see through. And all that dark stuff is pushed down in those lower chakra areas. And we already know that the lower chakra areas anyway are low vibration, right? Survival instinct is your base chakra, which is in the bottom of your tailbone. That's your root chakra, your base chakra. That's for survival. We want to move up as time goes by to the higher chakras, higher vibration. Living with the higher vibration, you're accelerating. You're moving up through your heart, your creativity, your identity, being your solar plexus and your sacrum, and moving further up into your heart chakra, which is where everyone wants to live. You want that flowing. Moving further up into your throat chakra, identifying yourself, saying, hey, I'm here. Let's communicate, okay? Moving further up into your third eye chakra. You want to live up there where you can see what's real. Your intuition is higher because you can see what's real. You're not being clouded by everything. Up to the top crown chakra, your communication with God, the universe, whoever. Okay, where you're getting your energy and your power in the first place. Okay, so living, if you're visualizing that character, that empty character filled up with darkness that's pushed down inside, and you're holding that down there because you're trying to be a good person, because you're a good person and you're fighting off something and you don't even know what you're fighting off, so keep it pushed down. The universe says you have to be true to yourself, because when you're doing that, you're nurturing everybody else but yourself. You have to heal yourself, because when you heal yourself, you're showing self-love. And that's what I had to do last year. I had to kind of, without realizing it, I thought I loved myself because I did. I admired who I was. I admired my strength. I admired that no matter what I felt like I had gone through, I still try to put a spin on it. But I did that by pushing it down, okay? I needed to really love myself enough to say, so what if you look ugly to the world? So what if people around you, start looking at you like, oh, you're not the, whatever I thought you were. So what? Because they're not your priority. You are. And you owe it to yourself to love yourself almost like you're a child and you're taking care of your child. Like your higher consciousness, your higher self is looking at that little child inside you that has all the stuff stuck and is suddenly nurturing, saying, okay, honey, I'm going to help you heal so that you can get to who you're supposed to be and join me again and be with me. Okay. I know that sounds completely spiritual. It actually sounds religious, but that's how I picture it. And that's what I realized, that that's what happened in 2018. Okay. So how many of you out there experienced that yourself, where stuff was coming up? I think it was the universe saying, in order for you to be the true person you are and to truly love yourself. And then I'm going to describe the difference when you truly love yourself and you know that that's the case, because that's what's bringing us to tonight's show. that the universe is saying, you need to truly love yourself. And in order to truly love yourself, we have to empty out all the dark stuff because it shouldn't be there. You should be striving for clean and squeaky. Okay? So as all that stuff started coming up completely unexpected and out of control, it also is a life lesson on control. When you're trying to control your life so much, you are holding it in. You're physically and mentally and emotionally pushing it down. Guess what? The universe says, throw you down like that Super Ball I keep talking about, when it finally says, no, you don't have control of this. You need to listen to me. Now, slam. Throw you down on the ground, and the momentum itself makes you unleash everything that's inside, right? Okay. And also bounce back up. All right. So I think that that's what 2018 really was for a lot of people, if not everybody. And I'm sure that not everybody got that. I'm sure a lot of people resisted it. I'm sure a lot of people looked at it. They'd never flipped the switch. They looked at it from a perspective of everything and everybody's doing everything to me, and life is horrible. This world is horrible and all that. I look at it as opportunities to get rid of whatever had me feeling bad, even things I didn't realize I was holding on to. Okay. So with that being said, all of that, now picture that empty vessel actually emptying. Okay. Universe shook it apart. It finally came up with that definite determination. And when I asked for help, which I did, and this is what I suggest for anybody, whether you believe in angels, guardian angels, spirit guides, whether you believe in God, whether you believe in whoever you believe in, whether you believe in the afterlife and people up there helping, or if you just believe in yourself, throwing out a prayer doesn't actually have to be religious. Okay. And what I would do, I got so frustrated last year. I actually kept saying, I am ready and willing to release whatever it is inside of me that is causing me to feel this way, but I don't know how. And I said that 1,000 times last year, I swear. I said, please tell me how. I'm trying everything I can think of, and I don't know how to release it. I don't know what it is that I can't release. Okay. Now, that was everything from things that I prayed before I went to bed, saying, send me some sort of sign in my dreams. Help me release while I'm at my lowest point, talking about sleep. Okay. You're close to death when you're sleeping. To praying in the middle of the day, whatever, to asking, like I said, going for spiritual readings that I believed in and got very good information out of, and saying, okay, just give me some guidance. Let me know how to, what am I fighting off here? How can I release something when I'm completely open to releasing it, but I don't know what it is and I don't know what else to do to release it? Okay. That shows that the universe listens. I went through all that, and guess what? I feel like I released it. That little thing that I just read to you about 2018 was just validation to me that was a huge universal push for the majority of people out there. Okay, I'm going to read it again. Because, like I said, if you've been listening to my show and listening what I've been going through and how the difference, which will lead into tonight's show, a totally different attitude. And a lot of people who were close to me, very few people I actually talked to about this. I wasn't open to everybody. I only talked to very close people, including family and best friend, basically, to straight out say what I was going through, and that I was going to be selfish and it couldn't be about even relieving anybody else of their worrying about me. I said, that can't even be my priority right now. I'm sorry, but I have to be my priority. I can't sit here and try to act okay to make everybody else feel better. I didn't care. I said, I have to do this for myself. I have to be here for myself right now. There's nothing anybody else can do. So between that and me putting it out here on the show, this is huge validation on top of it, that I was experiencing exactly what was happening, and my third eye is now seeing it. My crown chakra is now receiving that. I now understand what is going on universally. Therefore, it was all about me loving myself, healing myself, and now going from there, which is going to be a nice, light-hearted journey toward my destiny, whatever the universe decides that's supposed to be. Okay, so the old Earth reality is officially ending in December. This is why 2018 has been deeply intense and hard for so many people. All old traumas, fears, and wounds had to be healed. We can't go higher with our heavy baggage. You will look back at this year and see it as a blessing. So there was that once again. Now, another thing that I wanted to reiterate is that I'm trying to find it right now. I exited out of here, unfortunately. That according to Elizabeth Peru, maybe I still have it in my notes. I want to read it exactly how it was. This is a year of abundance. Last year was a year, according to her. Okay, here it is. Last year, according to Elizabeth Peru, it was a year of public service, a year of world service. I'm sorry, world service, and I've described that as well. According to her, world service also meant maintaining ourselves, because when we are at our optimum level, when we are successful in our own lives in general, when we are healthy and successful, that helps the universe because we're all connected. Okay, so it didn't necessarily just mean world service like volunteering or anything like that, even though that's a great one. Now, this year is actually, according to Elizabeth Peru, this year is, where did I have it written? I just had it here. Well, these are in my notes from that. I know it's creativity and abundance. This is a year of abundance, but I wanted to read it exactly how she had it on here. Okay, well, apparently I don't have it there. So basically, this is a year of abundance, and that means she had on their creativity, abundance in social creativity, and there were like 5 things that she had listed. I wish I would remember exactly what they were, because I would love to reiterate that. Okay, so we're going to move on. Now, the reason I was telling you all that is to let you know that through that journey and through that universal spiritual awakening and such, the fact that I truly believe in it at this point, I went from concentrating on what I was concentrating on in 2018 to free and focused and yet light-hearted and ready to be guided by the universe into 2019. Because in releasing all the ugly stuff that was part of me, that allowed me to show myself self-love, because I worked really hard to release the ugly stuff because I didn't want it hurting me anymore. That's self-love. Trying to protect myself by doing the best thing. That's almost, I look at that almost like being a good parent, except I was my own child. Picture that. I think that's pretty powerful right there. If you are struggling with something within yourself, if you do not like what you see, and I'm not talking just physically, I'm talking mentally, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, anything about yourself, if you have been made to believe that you are unlovable at any point, those are things that need to be healed. Okay. Now picture yourself as a child in front of you. Now you care about that child. You want to protect that child. You want to nurture that child. You want to guide that child. Okay. You want to strengthen that child. You want to show compassion. You want to help that child be the best version of themselves, to grow up and be the best person they can be. Am I right? If you picture that, that's exactly how I pictured myself, doing what I needed to do once and for all for myself, because I pictured myself as a child that was holding on to something that couldn't let go and hurting. And I cared enough as an adult to want to heal that child and bring us back together. Isn't that lovely? I like that. I like that because that just gives me chills when I think of it that way. So try that. This is my own little experiment, I guess, for you based on how I looked at myself, is no matter how much you think you love yourself, because like I said, I wasn't in a bad place. I did not, last handful of years, I was all full of the self-love. I liked who I was. I respected who I was. I was proud of myself for my accomplishments, for my frame of thought, for my personality, and all of that. But I was still holding on to things that were hurting me. And when I really dove in deep and fought the fight, to release that, that's what showed self-love. Okay, so I had that fairy tale love affair with myself, and I was my own knight in shining armor fighting off the dragon. Okay, I'm going to log back into my computer here for a moment so that I have that at my fingertips. Okay, so fairy tale love affair with yourself. I think I just described how to get there, or a very good path. And I thank the universe in front of everybody right now. I thank God. I thank the universe, my guardian angels, my spirit guides, my archangels. I call them my committee, even if all of them are simply in my head. Not in a crazy way. But when you show gratitude, we've had shows about this. When you just show gratitude and throw it into the universe, that's the law of attraction anyway. You say what you're thankful for, and it draws it to you even more. Okay, now I have stories on that one too. And that's actually going to be part of what I'm going to talk about. The fairy tale love, I thank the universe once again for allowing me to truly love myself enough to make myself priority in life, to nurture the child within and be a good mother. Okay, I like that. I'm my own good mother. Okay, so the fairy tale love affair with yourself. Here is a suggestion. Now, this was put out on Facebook as well. I get a lot of great stuff from Facebook, to tell you the truth. That's my venue of choice, but a lot of people complain about it. A lot of people are negative, and I try to bypass all that kind of stuff, or the drama or the nonsense in that way. But it doesn't matter whether it is a quote from the most spiritual person in the world, the Dalai Lama, or, anybody. Or if it's something that somebody just created. There's a lot of things I see and I like, okay, and I get a lot out of that, and it gets my brain going, okay. So recently somebody put something about it being, it's almost Valentine's Day, Yay, it's almost Valentine's Day. So February being Valentine's Day, and I wish that I remembered who put it out, because I wanted to go back and I wanted to pull it up, but I couldn't remember who put that out there. I thought I remembered it, but I do not believe that I did. I'm trying to kind of click around right now to see if I can find it. So anyway, so if I'm distracted, that's what I'm doing. But what it was saying is basically, you know what? I think I might know. Let me look. It was put out a while ago, so it might take a moment in time to find it. But it was basically saying a suggestion that they had for, and this was like for single people. And I think it was toward like their children. It was a way of, instead of focusing, I guess, on things like your other half, your significant other half or whatever, because it being Valentine's Day, it was a way to focus on being a good mom. I'm going to scroll way down here. If this is the person who put it out there, she puts out a lot of stuff, and it's going to take a while to find it. So anyway, what it basically was saying is that every morning, if you wake up every morning and you put on like a Post-it or something and put it on the refrigerator or whatever, and list something you love about your children. I think that's what it was. You post something that you love about your children. And what a great month that'll be, because that's basically, that's Valentine's Day. Didn't have to be about the significant other person, but that's Valentine's Day. So I thought that's a really great idea, but I took it one step further and I said, how about if practicing self-love, if you woke up every day and you wrote something to concentrate on that you love about yourself, then by the end of that month, you have a refrigerator full or whatever of wonderful things that you're saying about yourself, because we know that thoughts are things. We put thoughts into the universe. Thoughts are energy. Okay. They've kind of proven that thoughts are energy and they're very powerful. You throw them out to the universe and it affects people. Okay. Now, law of attraction and The Secret, if you know anything about the law of attraction, it's basically what you throw out there will come back to you. Okay. If you're constantly throwing out negative, it'll come back to you. Now, I look at that as one of two ways. For people who believe in that in a spiritual way, great. I believe in that. I believe it's energy. I believe it comes back to you in that way. For people who don't believe in all that, I look at it this way as well. Even if it's not an energy thing that you are creating by throwing it out there, when the more negativity you put out there, that's all you're recognizing, because you're becoming so negative that that's all you're going to see coming back. Why would somebody constantly throw out negativity, and then see positive things? Because when we receive positive things, we tend to be more positive, right? I mean, that just makes sense. Okay, so look at it either way, whether it's an energy, whether it's the universe throwing back to you what you put out or whatever. So when we put out self-love phrases, when we concentrate on that, especially when we wake up first thing in the morning, I'm still scrolling, by the way, especially when we wake up like first thing in the morning and say something like that, how much we love ourselves. I believe that that's putting it out there into the universe, but it's also putting it in our head first thing in the morning, how much self-love we have. It's putting a good image. That's like somebody first thing in the morning or whenever coming to you and talking about somebody and saying, oh my God, that person is just the greatest person ever. Well, that gets you, unless you have a negative thought about that person already, that prepares you the idea that this person is a wonderful person. Okay, so you're going to have that in your head right off the bat. I mean, think about that. Somebody comes up and they start singing somebody's praises, somebody you know or you trust or whatever, and they start singing somebody's praises, you're going to believe it. That's the image you're going to have in your head about them. So when you sing your own praises, that's simply the image you're going to maintain in your own head. So here's my challenge to you, to do it one of two ways. And I'm going to do both of these. Think of a list of things that you truly love about yourself, that you do, that those are your positive attributes according to you. Start the day off like that. Do it every day. Now, how you do it however you want, because it could be the same thing, the same trait, and you do it for a week. And then the next week you pick another trait, or a month, or even daily, you change it. But a positive thing you know about yourself, and you throw it out there, and you pay attention to that throughout the day. Okay? You notice it about yourself through the day. You do it more through the day because you've acknowledged it. Almost like somebody just gave you an award for being positive. They gave you an award for smiling so much through the day. So because you just earned that reward, don't we want to do things more once we're rewarded? Isn't that the idea of rewards? You get a reward for something. And the idea of that is like the employee of the month. They get an employee of the month reward. The idea is so that they take so much pride in that. It helps the employees to have more pride in what they do and focus and try to achieve it even more, right? So either take an image of what you like about yourself. It doesn't have to be what other people like about you. It's what you like about yourself. And believe me, I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. That's something separate as well. Okay, what you like about yourself, and throw it out there. Even if what you like about yourself is a trait that other people like, and the fact that other people admire it is what you like about it. Okay? Say people say that you are cheerful and you never really thought twice about it because that's just your nature. Then open the day, say, I love myself because I'm so cheerful and people know that about me. Okay? So maybe that is the change. Or what makes you happy. But whatever it is that makes you happy about yourself, and do that. Do it once a day, a different one each day, a different one each week, a different one each month, whatever. But I'm going to say that's the challenge. That's the homework assignment. I'm going to do it myself, is start off every day saying something positive about yourself and then pay attention to that throughout the day. Now, the other one, it still covers your bases. If you're feeling down about yourself, okay, and you're thinking, there's nothing that I can say, or there's very few things I can say that I love about myself right now. Well, then here's a challenge for you. Look at your perfect self. Look at who you want to be, and you want to achieve that, okay? Say you're not such a positive person, but you really want to be. You're trying, and you really want to be. Don't wake up and say, okay, I really want to be positive today. Wake up and say, thank you for I love myself because I'm such a positive person. Make it already happen. And I've read a few things about that, by the way. I've read a few things basically also showing gratitude for things you want. In the moment though, showing gratitude in the moment as if you had already received it. And I already started doing that, and let me tell you, it works. I have stories on that. I don't have time to tell them in this particular show. But everything from money flow to success at work or I don't know anything. I started because I have always randomly looked up. I look up because I just look up as if that's heaven, even though I think it's around me. And unless I'm driving, of course, a lot of times I will drive. I'll turn my radio off and I will say, okay, my guardian angels, my spirit guides, my archangels, my friends, my family up in heaven or around me, wherever you are, my committee, okay? I address those who may be on my side, those spiritual beings who may be with me. I believe in that. But I don't necessarily have to address them. I could just say thank you to, in general, talking to myself, because when you're hearing gratitude, thoughts are things, right? And I start thanking. Sometimes, especially on my way to work on day shifts, a lot of times I'll do this. I'll turn off the radio and I'll start from the very, when I leave my house, and I'll start throwing out gratitude. I'll say, thank you so much for my family being in my life. Thank you for my animals' health. Thank you for my home. Thank you for my job. Thank you for my crew. Thank you for my personality. Thank you for my strength. Thank you for me being me. Thank you for giving me guidance. Thank you for strengthening me. Thank you for your protection of me. Thank you for my vehicle and my material thing. I can go on and on. And the funny thing is when you do that, now this is going into gratitude, yes, but I just want to let you know, when you do that, and you're acknowledging that, then you are made so much more aware of what you have. I've experienced that. So I do that routinely. I will randomly do it too. I don't just always do it at this time or that time. I will just randomly say thank you for this or that. Now, talking about myself, talking about that, I have learned to start saying thank you for my financial freedom. I'm not financially free. I'm in debt. Okay. But when I say that, thank you for the inflow of money, it comes to me somehow. Now, it doesn't always come to me in a way like I don't suddenly have this money just show up where I don't know where it came from. It could be things that, like I just happen to get a refund from my mortgage or my insurance company. Or in this case, I crashed my car and it was left over from the warranty I bought or anything like that. But the funny thing is whenever I acknowledge that and really throw it out there and say, thank you for that. And thank you for the flow of money coming in. Thank you for helping me toward financial freedom. Thank you for my financial freedom. I'll be darned if something doesn't happen to help me get closer to it. Okay. Imagine if that happens. Imagine if you actually wanted a personality characteristic. You wanted something to love about yourself, and deep inside that's who you want to be. If you threw it out there in the morning and said, thank you for allowing me to be such a positive person, the universe is going to hear that. And it might make it easier. No, it will make it easier for you to be that positive person, because then that day in your mind, you are a positive person and you love yourself for that. When we are loved by ourselves and others for personality traits or for things that we do, basically that's what we live for. That is what human beings generally live for, and animals. We live to be loved. A lot of people will resist that, but the people who resist that are afraid to be loved because they've been hurt, okay? But deep inside, everybody wants to be loved because that's what we're made of. We're love. We are love. It does feel good to feel like we're loved, appreciated by people in general, family, friends, lovers, whoever, even just, coworkers or whatever. I'm talking about love and appreciation and, being a human being. Those are human traits. So when we love ourselves, love personality traits about ourselves, we are showing love. We are loved. We're going to continue being that way because that's what we love. Somebody's at my door and I'm not going to answer it because it's late. Okay, so now I'm distracted. Okay, so those are the two things that I'm going to challenge you to do. Every day, every week, whatever, is throw something out there that you actually love about yourself and concentrate on it, or throw something out there that you want to love about yourself and make it happen in that day. Okay. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about is never dull your shine. Now, this is something that always pops up, of course, on Facebook and such as well, where it talks about never dull your shine to make somebody else feel better. Okay. Now, this is a part of it as well. Shining like a beacon. Now, here's how I picture it. Shining like a beacon. Once it resonates with you, when you read something like that, of course it makes sense. Then it becomes a Malzurika moment, of course. When you are at your best, picture this. You're shining like a beacon. Okay. You are a beacon of light. Now, this has happened to me in my past, and I'm sure a lot of people out there can experience this as well. Whenever we're shiny in one area of life or another, some people aren't going to resonate well with you. Now, it can have everything to do with jealousy. It can have to do with sometimes in relationships, people are intimidated by that. Other people, whatever kind of relationship, friendship, family, whatever the relationship is, could feel like they aren't worthy of being in your life, or whatever the case scenario is. When some people shine, quote, too brightly, which there isn't a too brightly, then it's always going to affect somebody else in a negative way. Okay, unfortunately. Now, what I realized is when we shine too brightly for other people, some of us, we're comfortable with that relationship. And you know, when I say relationship, I'm talking friendship, family, romance, it could be a business relationship, anything. That's what I'm talking about, relationship. But a lot of times we will tend to dull that shine. Now, unfortunately, this isn't exclusive, but I am going to throw this in there. Unfortunately, a lot of times with strong women or very accomplished women who have that drive to be accomplished, because we're women, a lot of times we're going to experience that even more. Okay. Now, that's just fact. Okay. That's not exclusive, like I said, but that's just fact. So, you know, we can experience that in different ways, whether it's romantic relationships or in the business world, you know, man's world, all this kind of stuff. But that's just one example of what I'm talking about. A strong woman. I know this. I'm a strong woman. I've been told a lot, and by a lot of different people, will you intimidate men? Okay. I'm going to use that as an example, one of many that a lot of people or everybody experiences, I'm sure, at some point in their life. When you're shining and you are the best that you can be, I'm the best version of myself when I'm showing strength, because I'm a strong woman, and I love that about myself. Okay. I have always been a strong person, and I have steadily become stronger and stronger and stronger. I'm talking emotionally. I'm talking every kind of strength that you can imagine. That's been a keynote in my particular life. Okay. When you ask me the things about me, like when I wake up in the morning and I start doing this and saying, what I love about myself today is that, I guarantee that is going to be one of the first things I bring up. I love myself because I'm strong. Unfortunately, and fortunately, depends on how you see it. You flip the switch. Unfortunately, there are a lot of times in my past, me personally, and this is just giving it as an example, I would pull back from that a little bit because I wouldn't want to intimidate certain people. Okay. That characteristic or whatever other characteristic might cause other people to be uncomfortable. Okay. Now, what I've realized over time, and this is where I was talking about going into this particular show, when you release all of that inner stuff and you're truly comfortable and you're truly loving yourself now because you look at yourself, i.e. me, as clean inside, got all the guck up, or the majority of it, nurtured myself into getting to that place, and absolutely love the person I've become because I feel like that person is closest to my higher self, the person I'm supposed to be, then dulling my shine, which are those characteristics that I'm most accomplished and I feel the best about myself to being, dulling that shine to make somebody else comfortable in my world is no longer an option. It's something that I would have done in the past, but it's no longer an option. And that's what I'm saying. The double-edged sword. In one respect, you're going to lose some people. Okay, if you shine brightly and that somehow affects anybody else in a negative way, you're either going to lose people, or you can flip the switch and look at it this way. It's going to help you empty out, or it's going to help release you from the people who are not supposed to be so close in your life. Okay, because if somebody is intimidated by you for your anything, and I'm not talking about me now, I'm just talking in general. Think about different characteristics you may have that make you the best version of yourself, that make you love yourself so much, and other people are not accepting of that. Are they really the right people to be in your life? Now, here I'm going to do another quote right now before I forget. This is something I did have it pulled up here. I read this and I posted it on my show page because I absolutely loved it. And it made me really think of this whole part right here. I'm trying to find it. Of course I can't. Okay, here's the quote. You fall in love with people who make you love the person you are when you're around them. Read that again. Okay, think about that. I started talking about, before I was talking about energy and how you feel, paying attention to your energy around other people, okay? Around other people, around other situations, wherever you are, places, people, situations, whatever. Start paying attention to your own energy. If you feel drained, then maybe that's not the best place. Maybe those aren't the best people for you to be around. If you feel suppressed, okay, in this case, shining brightly, if you feel like you're suppressing your true person, the person you're proud of being when you're around certain people so that they accept you, because we all seek love. If they're not accepting of you, then a lot of times we seek love. We hinder the things that we think are stopping them from loving us. Is that not how it works? It is. I've realized that about myself. There's a lot of things that I would suppress because I wanted somebody to love me, i.e. like me, okay? And I'm not talking just about romantic relationships. I'm talking a lifetime of that in different ways. I realize I've done that. And in doing that, I've suppressed my own personality. I've dulled my own shine because somebody over here might not want me to shine when I'm around them. And because I may have wanted their approval, i.e. seeking that love from another human being, friendship or otherwise, would dull that shine to make them feel more comfortable. Now, is that the way it should be? No. Because the people who are in your life, the people who care, will do one of two things. Or people in general, they're going to do, and here's how I visualize it. You're a bright and shiny beacon. Keep shining as bright as you can. If that is what you love about yourself, go for it. Okay? Now, the people who are in your life who are intimidated by that or do not want you to shine, they're going to be blinded by that beacon and they're going to turn away from you. Let them go. Okay, there's that thing where you let people go, and if they're meant to be in their life, they will come back. And I truly believe in that now. And that helped me release a lot of people. And if they come back, great. It's on them. But trying to hold on to somebody or trying to manipulate, and even manipulating somebody by dulling your own shine. You can be manipulating somebody by dulling your own shine and not being who you truly are supposed to be. Okay, so that beacon is either going to blind some people to where they're going to say, I don't want to be around that. I can't handle that bright light. And they're going to walk away. Or they're going to say, I want to be around that bright light. They're going to put on their sunglasses. Okay. Or they're going to wait and they're going to adjust to the light. Okay. And you're going to resonate with them well. And on the last note on that, I've come to realize, and this is truly what has really happened in my life. Instead of suppressing what makes me me, okay, the tributes and the characteristics and such that make me me, that I'm proud of, so that others, will accept, i.e. love, me. When I allowed myself to just stand on my own and say, well, you know what, this is me, and I love this person, and I'm going to nurture these characteristics, and you can either be in my life or not be in my life. That's truly your option. And when I can say that, very low toned, not angry, but just say, okay, and that's your option. And I haven't had to say that to anyone, but I'm talking about how you talk to yourself inside as well. When you say, I'm just going to shine, and that's a good thing. We're keeping it all in a positive realm. None of it's about negativity. None of it's about, I'm going to shine so that person can go and, fly a kite. No, it's not about them. You shine for yourself. Who's meant to be in your life, they're going to recognize you for who you truly are, because that's who you're showing. You are showing who you truly are. People who come to you recognize and are comfortable with that. You don't have to explain yourself. You ever meet somebody or you know somebody or whatever, and you feel like in order to make them understand why you react a certain way to different things, or why you feel this way, or why you feel that way, or why you've done this or that you've got to start at square one and try to explain everything in life so that they understand you enough to approve of you or your ways. But then have you ever met somebody who they just resonate with you? You're completely yourself with, because at that point you're just kind of like, hey, I enjoy myself. I love myself. So you're all just kind of like, I don't know, icing on the cake. I'm the cake. You're the icing. So you're truly yourself. And then somebody comes up and they like you and they resonate with you. And you can right off the bat start into conversations that you both understand. That's because they've come to know who you are and you didn't suppress who you were. They know who you are. They were drawn to you. They understand you. There's no explanation. There is no begging for their acceptance, i.e. love. So you are yourself, okay? That is where I am right now. I love 2019. It rocks. It rocks all night long, let me tell you. And when you release control, I can tell you from experience, when you allow that stuff to come up and you can truly nurture yourself and you start really loving the person you are, and you do it for yourself. You do it so that if you are by yourself like every day in a week, you're enjoying life because you're enjoying who you're becoming, and it's not about showing other people who you are. I'm on Facebook less than I ever have been in my life since it started, because it used to be about people were so, they were supportive and everything else, but I realized I kind of needed that as well because it was acceptance. Do you know now I'm hardly on there, and I'm hardly other than the show, I'm not putting out a whole lot about what my accomplishments are or what's making me happy about myself, because I don't need to, because it's not about their acceptance and love. It's about, I love myself. So if they have a reason not to, then they can keep it to themselves. So those are key things to look for as well. That is something that I really noticed lately, is that I really don't have this big need to go on and impress all these hundreds of people on social media and get their acceptance, because it's truly within. And that the people who are meant to be around me, they gravitate toward me, and they do. And that is a relationship. That soulmate will come to me. Somehow we will vibe and we'll end up meeting. If we do, if not, I still love myself enough to be whole. Okay, friends, the right friends will be with me at the right times. I'm that person. I tend to hang out with different people, and then over time I end up over here. Things change, they evolve. Certain people stay in my life forever, certain people kind of come and go, and I'm good with that. But at any given time now, I'm going to be around people I feel like I don't have to suppress myself with. I can just enjoy life and just enjoy their friendship, enjoy being around them as well, and such. So I hope that you got a lot out of tonight's show. I truly appreciate you listening in. And I believe Tiffany's coming on next. I haven't been on Facebook and I haven't talked to her, so I hope that she is coming on next. If she is, then stay tuned for Tiffany Lewis on Be The Change coming up. And I'll talk to you next Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on clearsourceradio.com. Shine bright.